special edition of the Algo News. Lauren and I are going to like tag team the Algo News today.
Booyah.
Booyah? All right, I like
Booyah.
it. So let's pull these up. I've got all the tabs up already. We can kind of go through them and see what strikes us. So first up, Algo Batman, who is always on the news, says that Opulus is going to be the first ASA on Huobi. First of all, I'm not sure if it's Huobi or Howby, and I feel bad about not knowing. But like sometimes in the Twitterverse, like I just read things to myself and I don't ever say them out loud. Does this happen to you too?
A lot. Quite often, actually. Probably a little bit too often.
Is it Huobi? Huobi Global?
I say it's Huobi Global.
Huobi Global. All right. So to be fair, it wasn't Algo Batman who said it. I guess it was Lee Parsons. But Algo Batman retweeted it. So when you retweet somebody, is that like putting somebody in quotes, or is that like you saying it in their voice?
I would say, I don't know. Whenever I retweet something, I'm like, yeah, that.
So it's just like exclamation points, like you agree.
So I would say, like kind of like I agree, or it could be like a, you're just kind of coding it in your own voice as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, to the audience at large, retweets are not endorsements by me. Just FYI. Sometimes I just want to get news out there. So Opulus, though, have you been following Opulus?
Maybe.
So I know you dig the music scene, and Opulus is one of those things like where the royalties are picking up pace, and I want to see them use regular artists onto their platform, and the coin getting out there, even if it's in the Ethereum form, which is what it's going to Huobi first as, is still better than not getting out there at all.
Right. Yeah, I think my one thing with Opulus, like why I haven't been too much into the whole Opulus scene is just because, as a music artist, a small music artist, I want to try to get my music out there to as many people as possible. And from what I've heard and based on the research I've done, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they don't really have anything for small artists. It's mainly for, I think they partnered with Soulja Boy. Is that correct?
Yes. So Lil Pump featuring Soulja Boy.
There you go. Yeah. So they're more of like a already established music scene. So they don't really have anything for the smaller artists. So
now if you held Opulus, a lot of it, like you would be stoked, because I think I got their token when it was like 60 cents. Now it's like $6 or something like that. So I mean, it was a quick 10x. I don't know. Are you pro Opulus in general?
I would say so. I like the idea of it. But like I said, I just wish, I could have a little piece of the pie as far as music goes. But I am an Opulus holder.
Okay. All right.
Not very much of it, but
yeah, right. Like you mean. Yeah. All right. But I'm pro, and I see over here like Lee in his bio he lists Algo. He doesn't list ETH. So even though like some of his tokens are released on ETH, I think it's just because of the popularity of ETH. I believe if he could go straight to Algo and the ASA and Huobi, I think that would be the way he's going. So, all right, next up, AlgoFi and Decipher. So I talked a little bit about AlgoFi this morning, but there's a whole bunch of stuff that happened at Decipher and a whole bunch of stuff about like DeFi. Was there anything in particular that jumped out at you?
Not
just about AlgoFi, just like the whole Decipher event. Like, what was your favorite moment?
I think I told you I really liked that one talk by Jason Palos.
Mm-hmm.
The PyTeal crash course. That was my favorite thing.
Okay.
I really dug that.
So most people are like, what? Lauren liked the technical mumbo jumbo, right? She's like all about the the smart contracts and the coding. There's PyTeal. So most people don't suspect, I think, that you have a coding background, but you do.
No, yeah, it's very light. I did go to like a special STEM academy in high school, so I've done the whole basic HTML, CSS. I've done JavaScript a little later once I left high school. I've done, I made a rocket and I launched it with NASA engineers. That was fun.
You're like a rocket scientist, legit.
Yeah, it was awesome. And my group was the only group that actually hit the goals it was supposed to hit. So.
Okay.
It's because of me. No, I'm just kidding.
all right. No shame in the game. So I think that very often, like people who are in front of the camera, who are doing things like us, who are rating or reviewing, or musicians, or people who tend to be like personalities or entertainers. Oftentimes, people just assume that you're not technically minded, and that's not necessarily the case. I'm not at all, but you are, and I appreciate that about you. All right, let's see what else we got here. Theta nuts. So we didn't talk about Theta nuts at all this morning, and I'm not really sure why. I missed, this whole release. Really, I wasn't as familiar as I should have been. I wasn't familiar with QCP Capital at all, as a matter of fact. And in checking it out, so DeFi is huge. And I don't know if you're old enough to remember, but do you remember like Lending Club? Is Lending Club still a thing? I think it must be.
I don't.
You have no idea what I'm talking about.
At all.
Okay,
no.
So Lending Club is like just straight up like peer-to-peer like business loan. So you could log into Lending Club, and I did this like maybe a decade ago. I was a lender on Lending Club. So you could put in like $10,000 fiat, and then other people would be like, "Hey, I want to take out a loan for $2,000 to." I don't know, fix my car or something. And you could ask them some questions. You could kind of rate them. And Lending Club, I think, would like help you do that. And they would even grade the paper like A, B, C, or D, that kind of a thing. DeFi to me is kind of like that, where it's decentralized. Lending Club was like the hub, and they graded people for you. And they scalped a little bit off the top as well. But DeFi is essentially that. It's peer-to-peer lending in different formats. Like sometimes you can just put it into a pool, and people lend out at at whatever rates, market rates kind of a thing, and that's cool. But they have a hybrid, is what Theta is doing here. And so let me look at the portion here where they talked about it being a hybrid DeFi model, where investment, collateral management, and settlement are carried out on chain. And I will pull up their website here in a second. So that's on chain. All of that activity happens, while risk and leverage is managed off chain. And so to me, that means that they've got some financial analysts who are somehow managing this off chain and interacting and pressing a few levers to make sure that maybe you're protected as an investor. So, if something crazy happens, or puts a calls kind of a thing, where they're sort of making recommendations. Like, I don't know if that's old school, like they're sending out emails or signals, or what are they doing? Sending out smoke signals. Yeah. But does that interest you? Like, if you had a bunch of your Opulus, would you want to lend it out to other people?
Yes and no.
Right?
I feel like, I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to think about that one.
Okay.
The whole lending thing, to me, as someone that just got into the crypto space not too long ago, that's something that I'm still like trying to wrap my head around.
Really?
Yeah.
So
it's just,
I mean, I guess for me, it just feels like second nature now. Like, I'm already doing like liquidity pools. I'm already like yield farming with YLDY. Just to lend my crypto out to someone seems like the next stage. Like, it's pretty straightforward, right? And maybe there's some kind of collateral that they offer. Maybe it's for leverage, but it seems to me like it should be relatively straightforward in today's market. And if something crazy happens, like they're gonna liquidate, and it's hard to lose, I think. At least a significant amount when you're working like this. And that's what I like about like mitigating the risk on some of these. So it's less risky, in my opinion, than the old school like Lending Club that I was talking about.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in Lending Club, Like I could put all my eggs in one basket. I could lend it all to one dude and say, here's $10,000, go fix your bus. And then hopefully his business is good. And it's like a small business loan then.
Yeah.
Versus here, I can spread my risk out over a wide variety of activities, I think. And not everybody is going to default. And in general, you get a pretty good yield.
Right. I guess. Yeah. No,
well,
cool.
We'll keep working on it, Lauren.
Yeah.
we'll keep working on it. All right. So I went to this website. So this is QCP Capital. They have like this nasty disclaimer on here. It's like risky warning. Like don't pay attention to us. Like they're like the Wizard of Oz. Like the man behind the curtain is not anybody you want to see. Whoa. All right. I'm not going to play the whole thing. But that was very intense, wasn't it? All right. So Asia's leading digital economy traders, QCP Capital. Apparently, they've got a pretty good portfolio of Algorand. I wasn't familiar with them before. Right? They're not in our normal stable of investors that we talk about. But apparently, they are indeed heavy into the Algorand ecosystem. Enough so that they sponsored and came through with Theta nuts, as they should be.
I have to make a comment on the web design.
Yes.
I love the squirrel.
Yeah.
It's great.
You're a fan.
Great. I'm a fan. I love it.
So the golden acorn is there, and the stars in the eye.
The stars in the eyes. It's just aesthetically pleasing. I love it.
So this says almost 20 million TVL. And sometimes in these like sites, I'm not sure what fiat currency or what denomination they're talking about. Like this, I guess it might be US dollars.
I would say so.
Right?
I would say so.
And again, they've got this nasty warning here. It's like, I'm not a person who resides in the... Whoop. All right, so we don't live in the US right now. We're just, for entertainment purposes only, everybody. That's why we're on this website taking a look at things.
We're just looking.
Yeah.
That's
but they've got this little drop-down menu over here. They don't have Algo on here yet, but they will shortly, presumably. And then you can connect your Algo wallet, and you can take a look at the vaults, and look at the yield. APY 91%. Bully. 82%, 67%, 59%. Compare that to YLDY right now, 30%, 71 for Opulus. Okay. Here, wait, hold on. Let me hit refresh. Let me see what happened to the Opulus. 78% to Opulus. So Opulus jumped up. So that one is huge. What's next? Choice Coin and ARC right now are tied, 44.2%. So like those Theta returns are pretty strong.
Yeah.
So I'll be checking it out. You know what?
It's nuts.
It's nuts, right? You and I should both go check this out. Like we'll get you into this flow.
Let's do it. Oh wait, no, we're not supposed to. Remember?
All right, Nocturne Fi. Right? I don't know what's going on with Nocturne. So Nocturne Fi is a DeFi product. They made their presentation at Decipher. I missed some of it because there was so much activity happening.
Yeah. Okay. That's why. Okay, I knew that sounded familiar. I was like, "Where does this sound familiar?" And I think it's from Decipher.
Yep, they came on to Decipher, and this guy came up and talked. Luke Sully. So
also looks familiar.
Yep. Well, he should, because he is in charge of Ledgermatic. So he's the founder and CEO of Ledgermatic. And look, he's got a history with IBM, Emergent Technologies, Custody Digital Group, still with them. Anyway, so we go to their website. There's not a whole lot here. Nocturne Fi. They want to make things. I think they want to have something to do with NFTs. They've got an OWLYN, OWLYN or something like that. Is their OWLYN? Yeah, like their They're only come out at night, so they're owling. Is their coin. So it hasn't been released yet.
That's cool.
But they are appropriately like demure. You know what I mean? Like they're shy about what's going on. And a lot of projects take this approach where they just put out enough of like a teaser to get people kind of interested in talking about them. And talking, okay, so it's DeFi and it has something to do with NFTs. And then they threw out the metaverse, and now they have their own token. So I think what's going to happen is kind of like XBack maybe, where you can put in pools of other items and almost like borrow against them for their Algorand token.
That's cool. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. Like some people talk about this like it's lending, and it is, but it's lending kind of like as if a pawn shop had its own token or if its own money.
Oh yeah.
So what if I took my phone down to the pawn shop and the pawn shop just had its own money, and I put my phone in and the pawn shop just gave me pawn shop, dollars, or whatever. Token. The pawn shop token. Now I would only be dealing with other pawn shop owners or people that traded in their stuff at the pawn shop. So I would have to bet my my hard-earned cell phone or whatever, my exchange, that I could deal with enough other pawn shop customers.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So projects like this need to really they have to crush it so that there's enough Allens out there that it's worthwhile. There's enough liquidity of their own token.
Yeah.
So I love the marketing stuff. I love the neon, the brick. Some of their stuff at Decipher was really awesome. They've got a really cool idea. We need them to spend
neon too.
more money, I think, so that they can be the biggest DeFi shop. And I don't know, some people say that there's a couple rules of thought here. So either there's there's enough to go around for everyone, or there's going to be survival of the fittest. So like Google, right? Yeah. So how many different search engines did there used to be? Is anybody using Bing? I don't think so. Or is anybody asking Jeeves these days? When was the last time you asked Jeeves anything?
I don't even know what that is.
Ask Jeeves. Ask Jeeves is an old search engine, Alta Vista days. All right, so.
Oh my god! See, I know what Bing is. I don't know what. Yeah.
Well, you see, you don't even know what the other ones are. So, are we in the stage right now where, Nocturne is going to be either Ask Jeeves or Google? And how do we know which one is which?
Right.
Or is it going to be I don't know, cars? There's 24 different kind of car brands, and it's big enough for all the different car brands. Right? We're not all driving Teslas. No,
not yet.
So what do you think? Is DeFi going to be, one king to rule them all, or is it going to be there's enough for everyone?
I think
I'm putting you on the spot. Just go with your gut.
I think one ring to rule them all.
all right. So we're investing we better guess right.
Right.
All right. Well, I hope for Nocturne's sake that they're good. And I heard Luke's presentation was on point, and the marketing stuff is fantastic. So there we go. All right. Bum-ba-da-dum. That's you.
It's me.
All right. So you minted your very first NFT today. Talk me through the experience. How was it?
It was scary, but easy. I think because it was so easy, that's what made it scary. So I was like, that's it. That's all I have to do.
That's it.
And then it's a picture of me, so I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's right. People are looking at you.
Who wants to buy me?
Right. For 5 Algo, roughly the equivalent Algo today of, just shy of, 10 USD or something like that. What was this? What was this picture from?
So this picture is actually a poster I made for one of my past releases, single releases, called Goddess. You can find it on Spotify, Amazon, all your big major, streaming companies, platforms. And yeah, I never released this poster. My plan was to print them and sell them, maybe sign some, because I know some people actually, I'm not a huge artist or anything, but some people wanted my autograph.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Big deal.
just a little bit. Not just kidding. But yeah, so I thought about doing that, but it just ended up not working out. And now we're here.
All right. So you minted 25 of them. So far, I think the first one sold in like half an hour or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting.
To whoever bought it. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have plans? Are you going to release some more?
Yes. Definitely some more pictures in the works. And music NFTs.
Music NFTs.
Stay tuned.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have enough where we could turn this into like a series? Or no? Maybe?
I have tons of pictures from this shoot, and then, I have other music releases where I've had photos that I never released. So,
okay.
Yeah.
We
got lots.
I think I don't, there's some photography that happens on, in the NFT space. Not a ton yet. It's really kind of
which I'm
underrepresented.
surprised, because when Instagram first came out, like, everyone jumped on that, like all your photographers and like all your artists jumped on that. So I'm kind of surprised that it's not, photography is not a huge thing in the NFT space
Not yet.
It's just not yet.
I see a lot of
now.
mixed reality, like Blender and the animation stuff, the cartoon style, whatever. Whatever animal happens to be the theme of the week or whatever, right? So we see a ton of that. I haven't seen a lot of photography or like algo models. I really think you should call this series like the algo model. I don't know. I like a good theme though.
Yeah. You guys comment. What should it be called?
There you go. Comment on what it should be called. All right. I think we're at like 22 minutes. We should probably cut it there. We covered quite a bit today in our first joint algo news. It's like, I don't know, double trouble. There was double us and we went like double as long. So there you go.
Enjoy it. We're making up for the loss, for the few days we were at Decipher and we didn't post anything.
Right. So now there you go. So go check out Lauren's NFTs. She is the goddess poster over there. You can go search for it on AB2. You've had like two more, I think, available, something along those.
Yeah.
Are you just gonna kind of like
2 more available?
Give them out like a little bit at a time?
Yeah, just a little bit at a time.
All right.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I want to do with that.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, this has been fun. We should like do these on a regular basis. We'll tag team the Algo News.
Heck yeah. Sounds great.
All right.